Hello, Jason.
Or would you be the Randall to my Dante?
I'm definitely the Randall.
You're definitely the Randall? Okay.
I think so.
All right. I'm 37?
Yes. In a row?
Yeah. So I'd ask you how you're doing, but you gave me a rundown before we taped. And
yeah, and I'll get into it a little bit when we get to our weeks or our extended, timeline. But
yeah.
But just throwing it out there right now, and I think this should be the theme going forward in perpetuity. Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
Just
doesn't seem to go away.
Fuck cancer. And I'm retarded.
He told me that last night. And I said, "Don't be so hard on yourself. You're a little special." That
was earlier today. So here's what happened, right? Jason's going to ask, "What are we talking about today?" And I'm going to say that we're talking about Clerks,
right?
Because we've been meaning to talk about Clerks forever.
Yeah.
But what we were supposed to be talking about is the new Skeleton Crew.
Correct.
The show, the Star Wars show that's coming out.
It starts in, 3 hours? 4 hours?
9 o'clock Eastern, right?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. We had this plan. It was like, oh, hey, look, this is when it's going to start. All I saw was 6 o'clock Pacific time. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They're 3 hours off. We don't record till 5. So if we -3, then we can watch the episodes and then roll right into the show.
Right.
And this is what I pitched to Jason. And Jason's like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire premise of today was that I was going to come over early. We were going to watch the episodes, and then we're going to roll right into the show and do a fucking Star Wars episode for Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
This morning, while I'm standing in the shower, I realized that I am fucking retarded because it's not -3, you dipshit. It's +3.
Right.
Because it's the other way.
And you're the time guy too, so that was very surprising.
It is utterly remarkable since I haven't been traveling or having to deal in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the only time I'm ever actually doing anything with time zones is I'm subtracting.
Right.
Like if I'm talking to somebody on the West Coast, like for Travis Air Force Base or something like that, or talking to John in Hawaii or John in fucking New Zealand or whatever, like I'm almost always moving the other direction.
Yeah.
Or so far forward that it, it's almost, doesn't matter. The idea of moving across country going east, it didn't even cross my mind until this morning. Like in the shower, I just had this epiphany, God. And there was a little voice in my head that was saying, hey, you should look up the time of the show to make sure that we're going to have time to be able to see the episodes and do the thing.
Yeah.
And it's all validation, right? Because I opened up it's this Disney website and saw Skeleton Crew 6 p.m. Pacific Standard. I'm like, okay, cool. That's exactly what I was thinking. So I saw it there, and it was validation, and I left it at that until this morning.
Then something clicked. It's like, wait a minute.
I'm dumb. So
well, I went along with it. So I mean,
yeah, but it sometimes this is my area of expertise, right? This is like. Oh yeah, Dave wouldn't fuck that up. Why would Dave fuck that up?
Yeah.
Because Dave's not operating at his optimal level, unfortunately, and proving it yet again with today. But fortunately, because we've been lifing it up and been kicking the episodes around, we already had Clerks in the can.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Because we were supposed to do it, 2 weeks ago, we had to push the episode. Then last week we had to push.
Right, because I wasn't ready.
Right, and I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready!
So, but yeah, here we are. And we are doing Clerks as opposed to Skeleton Crew. We'll talk about later when we are going to talk Skeleton Crew.
Right.
But yeah, it's good to be back, and I think we should go ahead and start talking about some Patreon.
Yes, you should talk about Patreon.
All right. Well, if you're enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week. We'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: Wally Frogmore, The Orange and Fetch Show, Shotgun Mark, Scott and Kim from Used and Abused, Nick from Sweet Studios, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, Lord Helmet Fire, Kristen Roscom, Janine Vickers, Ivo G, Frederick Martin, Frank Kalevich, Dragon Buddy, Don Solsky, David Schmuck, Chantal from Pop My Culture, Catherine Rick.
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
Was that for Chantal?
Completely random.
Catherine Rennick and Carly Vickers. It feels like, have we always had this many patrons? That seems like a lot.
I think that's what we've always had that many.
Okay. It was a lot to say.
Well, you know, it's been a minute.
We're out of practice.
We have to stretch.
Yeah, we
didn't really stretch adequately before the fucking show, so
it's got to be it. If you would like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/the Sidebar Cantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
So I hear we got some Sidebar headlines.
We do have one.
Okay.
It is referring to round 2 of the Sidebar Survival Fantasy League, which has ended.
Uh-huh.
Congratulations to the undefeated Wacky Picks Part 2, owned by Scott of the Used and Abused.
Ah, congratulations, Scott.
Yes, good job. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about the pickings at one point, and then when I remembered, I had already been eliminated because I forgot.
Right.
So bad on me.
Yeah,
it was an experiment.
Yeah.
Where I have never in my life been so bandwidth limited.
And that's saying something, considering it's you.
Yeah. But we'll get there. We'll talk about that. But yeah, congratulations, Scott. What we have for you is a hearty round of applause.
Hooray!
There you go.
And we don't normally applaud on the show, so.
True.
All right, so that's it for the headlines?
That's it.
All right, well,
we
we
let that applause hang in the air.
We might as well get into what we've been up to lately. I didn't want to call it our week because we haven't recorded in almost a month. So
called our weeks.
So, but I do have some additions to
the Sacred Jedi,
which I actually call the Sacred Jedi stuff.
the Sacred Jedi.
Yes, that's better because it's more than just the Black Series this week. First and foremost, I want to show off my salute to service gear that my lovely wife Kristen, who I love very much, bought me. And it's not just this hoodie shirt, which is awesome, but she also got me a Bosa jersey in the style, 2 hats,
nice,
a T-shirt, and I think that's it.
Which hats did you get?
The camo one, and then just an all black one.
Okay,
all dark gray.
The gray one. I have the gray Eagles one. I think I wore it the last pod.
Yeah.
It's the gray, has the eagle on it. It has the salute to service and with the flag on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really like it. I'm not as big a fan of the white camo, and honestly, the reason I'm a messy eater. Right, that is just that's going to get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be eating a burger or something. I'm gonna be like, this is so delicious, and blah, 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 blah. It's just gonna get all over that and ruin it. So, prefer to stick with the grays, which will just look great.
Yes, and she actually gave them to me a few days before that Memorial Day weekend, where they were like going all out. They were like zooming in on everybody's salute to service gear and all that stuff.
Right.
So it was just good timing, I guess, that
hell yeah,
that all that came in when and it was an early birthday present, essentially, is what it was.
Nice.
She didn't just like buy me all this shit randomly, which would have been cool, but I'm sure she spent a lot of money on it, and I'm not going to argue.
Yeah,
or complain.
it's. I'll tell you. I remember when the salute to service stuff first came out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really really limited. It was like they had a hat, they had a hoodie, and like a long sleeve shirt. It was like that hoodie was it sold out so quickly. It was like impossible to get. And Kathy actually had I had a friend of mine I went to high school with. She was the manager of the Eagles Pro Shop
Oh shit.
there in Cherry Hill, and Kathy had actually talked to her and gotten one of those. Was able to buy one of those like right when it dropped,
That's awesome.
and so I got that for my birthday, and it was like nobody had that.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody had those fucking hoodies. They were impossible to get. So I'm walking around that fucking hoodie. We're like, where did you get it? I'm like, well, best wife ever. I don't know what you're talking about. Right. Now it's cool that they have it. It's so much more available.
Mhm.
Like, because it was like super exclusive. It's like, look, people want to get this shit and wear it. Fucking make it more available. Like, there's no. It's not a collector's item. It's clothing.
Right.
So fucking
Yeah.
make more of it.
Yeah, you're in the business of making money, so
Right.
print more and make money.
Exactly. Like if you want to have the helmets and shit, like because the helmets are pretty fucking ballin'. If you see that.
Salute to service helmets?
Yeah.
I've never seen those.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hold on.
I regret.
Hold on.
I regret bringing it up because I have to check myself for not purchase said things.
Right.
But oh my god, yeah, the salute to service helmets are pretty ballin'.
Yeah. Yep. They pretty much are $700. Oh no, wait, that's something
The
different.
mini ones.
Oh.
They sell the mini ones.
Oh. Well, who wants
They sell the big ones also, but
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I have to stop looking.
I'm sorry, Kristen. I'm sorry.
She's yelling at you in the chat.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway,
So
They're
yeah.
awesome.
So yeah,
I love
got
it.
a lot of salute to service stuff. Thank you, Kristen. It's fucking great. Now, you know how I've been collecting these new GI Joe figures that come in that are redone in the old style.
yeah.
Got another one. I was missing one from the first wave that came out, and it's not terribly exciting. It's Cover Girl. So, Cover Girl, but she's in like a new
Easy breezy
shiny,
cover girl.
shiny coat of paint in the same, and all these new ones have the card on the back as well, because those are collector's items as well. People love collecting the cards from the old GI Joes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what's even crazier? So the same company that did that and is doing all these new O-ring versions of the GI Joe figures also did Ghostbusters.
What?
Yeah, now I haven't actually opened this yet to look at it, but I know that they are O-ring style. You got a knife? Yeah, they're also O-ring style, 3 3/4 inch. What is this shit?
I'm in sweatpants. So
This
Your knife-
this is the knife Dave is given to me.
I'm wearing sweatpants.
the knife guy, the guy who's always got big ass knives on him, the guy who had multiple knives taken from him at airports while I was
Here,
there.
you want this one then?
Well, it's too late. I've already cut it. Oh, and here they are. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, it's the fucking Ghostbusters in that 3 3/4 inch GI Joe style. It's called the O-ring style when you search for it on the bigbadtoystore.com. Are you okay?
I'm trying to put that knife away. It was hidden in a thing on my backpack.
Pretty cool though, huh?
That was cool.
So I'm like, well, I got to get that.
It looks like fucking Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Like all four of them. It looks like them.
Yeah, man. Toys these days are getting really detailed.
Shit.
In fact, I didn't actually get much of a chance to take a look.
Do you think is it? So
Awesome.
what?
Oh,
it's because I'm doing it backwards. What's the why? Like, why is it? Yeah, why is it getting so much better? Like,
The
why?
toys?
Why is the commercial product that's coming out so much better than what was before? Is it? It's
It's got to be the molding. You know, they have more time to do detailed molding, I think. You know, and better sculpt realistic faces. Because, and you know, you think about it back in the day, the old Star Wars figures from the 70s and 80s, they were essentially what, 5 pieces? The head, the chest, the arms, and the legs, and there was no movement in there at all.
right.
And then when you got to G.I. Joes, they were actually posable and more complicated parts. And I think for the longest time, companies didn't want to do that because it was more expensive to make, of course. Somebody like that. But now that, you know, technology is the way it is with the fucking digital face scanning and all that stuff, I'm sure that they make these fucking molds out of some sort of a scan of the face. And
That, you know what? I think that's it. That's probably what it is. The digital, the effect that you can digitize it and 3D model it that much easier. That's probably what the difference is.
yeah, they just went and stuck a bunch of balls on Rosario's face, you know, the little green ones.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
But yeah, either way, the G.I. Joe one's pretty cool, or the Ghostbusters in that style is pretty cool. Last thing
I like the box too. It's very well presented.
because again, Generation X, we're at like our peak earning years right now. So all of this shit, the Transformers, the fucking Star Wars stuff, you know, Ghostbusters, that was a big thing for us. You know, it's all making a comeback, and I'm sure it's all very deliberate.
Oh hell yeah!
That they're doing this
Hell yeah!
to us. So speaking of Star Wars, I completely forgot I pre-ordered this. Come on, you fucker.
Ooh,
It is the Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan versus Qui-Gon playset.
wow!
So
Oh, that's phenomenal.
from Phantom Menace, it's the 3 of them going toe to toe to toe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at the cloak. Look at the detail on Maul's cloak.
You're going to have to raise it a little. There you go.
Can you see it? Like the individual folds of the cloak are there.
Yeah. And this will be the first Obi-Wan I have from Phantom Menace. My first Qui-Gon, I think, except for the ghost Qui-Gon.
That's Liam Neeson's face.
It is.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of licensing deals these guys get for using their likeness.
I have a particular
course.
set of skills.
But seriously, like, what does Liam Neeson get paid to just give up his face, which that is his face, to be on these toys? Like, how much do you think they make? And do you think they... I don't know.
I told George Lucas, give me $1 million and you can have my face.
Right. I spent it on cocaine. So yeah, that's it. Got one Black Series set. I still have to redo the whole fucking studio. The Black Series figures are taking up too much space, and I'm gonna have to condense. I'm gonna have to turn a lot of them sideways, sadly. But
Yeah,
so it goes.
yeah. It's glorious though.
Oh yeah.
It's just you talk about these toys that it's so even at the house, like when I'm at home, I have the stuff that's displayed and I'll just sit at my desk and I just like to look at it.
Yeah.
Like all the Lego stuff that I have on the walls and just kind of on display. Just like I just enjoy looking at it. Maybe that's our generation. It's just like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not in the yard playing with this, but I'm just as
You're
content.
admiring it. Yes.
Just as content.
Yeah, I totally get it. Even when I'm setting them up in like a display like this, I still get that kid-like feeling.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And every once in a while I'll do the to-do.
Like you do.
Anyway, moving on from all that, I was in Pittsburgh weekend before last for a massive Magic tournament. Funny story. So this tournament, they were playing the Legacy format, which is like one of the oldest formats in Magic. Uses like the cards that go all the way back to the beginning, whereas a lot of them use more newer cards. And it was the biggest tournament in Legacy, is what it's called, that they'd ever had. Second biggest was the Grand Prix in New Jersey, which I was also at. So
Okay.
yeah, that was in 13 or 14. But yeah, so I've played in the 2 biggest Legacy events ever. And
So is it like a ranking thing? Like, do you go and
well, yeah, it's Swiss rounds, so you get randomly matched up against somebody, and then the winners go into the winners bracket, losers go into the losers bracket, and you normally face somebody with the same record as you, going all the way up or
so
all
how,
the way down.
How
as it-
far did you make it?
Not far this time. The first one that I went to like 10 years ago, I made it really far actually, but this one not so much. But it was still a lot of fun. Bumped into some old friends I hadn't seen in years, so it was a good time.
Very cool.
But it also like socially tapped me out. Like I'm done going out to big crowds like that for a while. I don't want to do anything but stay in my house.
Yeah,
So yeah, all my social currency has been spent.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I 100% feel that.
And I know a lot of people have like texted me or messaged me over Facebook or Instagram, and I know I haven't gotten back to many people. I'm sorry. I find it very difficult to do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And though did have some people reach out, and thank you, Tom. He just wanted to check in on me, see if I was doing well, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm fine, except I just don't want to be anywhere other than my house right now.
Dude, I 100% feel that.
Yeah. So, and that's that's kind of the wrap up of what I've been up to these last few weeks, however long it's been since the last show. And I turn it over to you.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I have nothing good. Well, no, that's not true. I do have some good, but the majority of the past few weeks has just been one kick in the nuts after another.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit before the show, and look, you guys as the listeners have a pretty good idea of who we are.
I'd like to think so. And we talk about our personal lives quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting place to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a level of intimacy that everyone else gets to have with us,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't really appreciate until like things are happening, and then like when you don't do the podcast, and then you don't have kind of like we kind of joke about the podcast therapy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a thing. It's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, mentioned the fuck cancer kind of in the beginning. Again, not family stuff is family stuff, and some stuff just isn't meant for the air. But I can tell you that we've had some challenges, over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
That have been really, really, really tough. And when I am not joking when I say that I have never felt so beaten
Really.
with everything.
Mm.
And a lot of it has to do with it's the time frame. We just rolled into December. My dad passed away a year ago in December on December 10th.
Can't believe it's been a year already.
I know, right? My Aunt Maureen passed. She passed away from lost her battle with breast cancer. Again, fuck cancer. So there's all these like weird connections we were talking about with last time I saw my aunt alive was right before my dad passed. And on the anniversary of the last time I saw my dad is when we're having the memorial for her, and there's just like this weird like these timing elements of basically how my year started and how my year ended are both with death.
Yeah.
And it's weighing on me. weighing on me in a way that I'm used to being able to handle.
Mm.
I'm not doing a very good job of it recently. But yeah, so my aunt losing her battle with breast cancer. She had breast cancer like a decade ago,
Mm.
and fought it off. It came back. I want to say almost maybe over a year ago,
Mm.
and the she was a fighter. She just always was.
Yeah.
And she was getting like going in, like she lived in Bethlehem, PA, and she would go into Philly, which is not a small. It's not a small commute, and she would go into Philly for the treatments and do everything, and just fought it off for as long as she possibly could. Um, so it was tough, and I didn't get a chance to see her, you know, when she went into hospice, which I'm kind of glad for. Last time I saw her, she was still fighting. I mean, she had been going through the chemo and everything. But she was still like hosting.
Yeah.
She could still get in around the house, and host and be herself a little bit. So, and I'm glad that I had that as the memory.
Yeah. As opposed to just her being frail and can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the idea. I don't know. It's just that with a lot of extra shit at work that I brought upon myself.
Mm.
A lot of it, which we joke all the time about how ridiculous I am with
Yeah.
with the shit I volunteer for, but the commitments I made are challenging, are really challenging,
Mm-hmm.
and it's again, it's wearing on me, and I think it's just it's a combination of all the things
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not doing well at any one of them, and not being good at something.
Mm-hmm.
I've been good at shit for so long,
Oh,
and
yeah.
not being good at something and missing something, like not being able to add the fucking time zones. That shit fucking that just
Yeah.
hurts.
Well, yeah, and it shows how much all of this is weighing on you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a suck salad. And honestly, I'd love to say that, like, hey, it's the holidays, and the holidays are for celebrating and everything else, but I could give a flying fuck about the fucking holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I have zero fucking. I just want to. I just want to get through this month.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get through. I don't give a fuck about Christmas. I don't. None of it. Just get me through this fucking month.
Yeah.
And I don't want to decorate. I don't
No?
want to. No, I don't.
No tree or anything?
I don't want to do shit.
Wow.
I don't want anything. I could have. Today would have been a perfect day to get the Christmas shit out. Zero desire to.
Hmm.
And I don't know that I mean, it'll probably be something that Kathy will coerce me into doing.
Oh, of course.
For the best. But the reality is, I don't fucking care. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I say all that because on this podcast we tend to overshare. So that's what we do, because hey, look, it's this time of year for a lot of people that they struggle.
Yeah.
You know,
That's when I had my massive breakdown a couple years ago. It was
Yeah.
in December.
yeah, it's well, and because your birthday's around this time, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of things come up, and you know, I said I've been really, really good at everything, and being good at keeping all the plates spun,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that I'm not able to do it, even it's really easy. It's easy for people to say like it's okay, right?
Yeah,
It's
but
so-
that doesn't really do anything.
right?
That's
And I mean, we know better, right? We know better. Like I wouldn't say that to you. I
Right.
think I know what the reality is. The voice in my head and a logical person in my head that usually is the one that climbs out of this
mm-hmm.
is there, but it's just a lot further to climb right now. And I'm not saying it won't climb out of there, but what I'm saying, I guess, is I saw masking in the thing. When you see people that seem like they're a little bit off,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes it's worth asking them what's up,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You know, I know for me, an indicator would be some shit like, why can't you add today?
I know, right?
Like why, you know, missing stuff or, you know, things that you ordinarily would be on top of, you know, changes in behavior and things like that. Like, those are the things we have to pay attention to. Like social media, we have an advantage of foresight a little bit because some people project out there what they need,
Sure.
and some people don't.
Yeah.
But
I'm one of the guys that always buried it.
yeah, oh, I fucking dude, I am. I am the best method actor that I know. Like you can put me in a situation and I will give whoever I'm in front of the 100% that person that they want or they expect
Mm.
is the person they're going to get.
Right.
I have that ability most of the time.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that ability, I don't come out of the house
No.
because if I don't feel like I can put that fucking mask on, then I can't function. Like
Damn.
I don't want to interact with people because I can't resolve that interaction.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm not leaving the house. Last week for the podcast, could have showed up and done Clerks. I've showed up with doing podcasts with fucking no research, no preparation, fucking rolled in with the laptop, threw it open, and fucking let's have at it.
Right.
And I could have very easily have done that last week.
Just phoned it in.
And I couldn't be that person last week.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it. And to be honest, it was tough today.
Oh yeah.
It was tough.
Mm.
I haven't seen you in a while though, but because really I wanted to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, as much as the podcast. So, yeah, it's tough. The holidays are tough. Pay attention to people, you know, the people you care about. When things are a little bit different, ask the question. It's hard. It's hard to ask that question,
Yeah.
especially. I'm going to say it. Military people, especially, we're really, really good at pushing that stuff to a place where you're not going to see it
Until
it's
filled up, and then all of a sudden it's a disaster.
it's a jack in a box and it just fucking blows out the top.
Yeah.
And
That's a visual.
that's what the medication's for, right?
Yeah.
I joke all the time. It's like the the medication is there to keep the demon in the bottle.
Yeah.
You know, the propensity for when I'm feeling like this, none of this is right, and I want to go fucking hurt people. Yeah, that's what the medication's for.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I'd say I do all that to say this weekend was Thanksgiving, which
Oh yeah, technically it was the Thanksgiving
it
weekend.
was Thanksgiving weekend.
Feels like it was so long ago already.
I know, right? And Kate hosted out in State College.
Mm-hmm.
It was Kate and her guy, and me and Kathy and Jeff and Jess, and it was just us and the dogs.
Yeah.
We brought Holly out with us. It was her first time, the longest drive she's taken.
Yeah.
And she did great. She did great in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Did not want us to, you could not separate us. Like, if my wife went into to go to the bathroom or something,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Where did she go? Oh my god!" Right? It's poor dog has so much anxiety.
Wonder where they got that from.
I know, right? But yeah, she did great, and yeah, it was exactly how I want to spend Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
in that small get together.
Especially with both of your kids. Like I would imagine you don't get that very often anymore.
No, hardly.
So
And it's a hard thing to do, and which is the tough part is we used to, as a family unit, like the Martin family especially, we always had a big event. And my cousin Becky, who's a Patreon supporter, she hosted something this year, but we had already committed to Kate's thing, so we ended up missing it. But it used to be, it was a given. Like, we knew where we were going to be, and we were there every Sunday. We were at my grandparents' every Sunday. We would go to my grandparents for Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners, and Easter and all that stuff. So we had those big get-togethers, and Kathy and I have hosted a lot of those things when the kids were younger. Again, I've had zero desire to have these huge things at the house. I just don't want to deal with I don't want to have to be on for that long. I want to be able to have an escape, or if I'm at somebody else's house, be like, I'm not feeling well, I'm leaving.
yeah.
I can do that. If everyone's in my house, really tough to do.
Yep. Go up to the bedroom, lock the door.
Yeah, which I have to move around, right? If I'm stationed, it's like a shark. You have to
Keep swimming or you'll die.
Yeah, basically. I feel like if I stop moving, and something bad's going to happen. So anyway, really like going out and having just a small gathering, and with Kate hosting, and she did a great job. Her guy Ryan made some amazing food, and Kate made some good stuff too. But yeah, everything was great, and it was good. It was a good weekend.
It's good. Hopefully it took you away from the shit a little bit.
It was nice to get. It was nice to get away, and it was nice to have that little bubble, for a minute. And then I think yesterday, December 1st, it was like the calendar rolled over, and I was just like, and it just kind of, it hit me a little bit harder yesterday, and so today. But regardless, yeah, it's been a time, man. It really has, and I don't know that it's going to get any better. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep pushing at it.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That or more drugs.
And I'm ready for more drugs. I'll take them. Fucking. I've never wanted to fucking drink so heavily in my life,
Ugh.
and I know that's not the right answer. So thankfully, I have enough willpower right now to not do it.
Yeah.
But god damn it,
We're coming up on 3 years since I stopped drinking.
it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks
Yeah.
because drinking's awesome, but it's good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I always get tempted, like just thinking back about all those craft brews and the local stuff. I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
But I can't.
I sneak a little bit of like a bourbon or something every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I get like just enough to get a taste, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like if I get one fucking 2 fingers and that's it, then I'm done. Because if I have any more than that, I'll feel like shit.
Right.
So
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
anyway, so that's it. That's all. That's all I got. Just remember, it's the holidays. Not everybody's fucking jolly.
Yeah.
Pay attention to how people are, and if they look like they're not having around their normal selves, ask them how they're doing.
All right. It's good advice. So,
That's it.
all right. We ready to move on to Clerks?
Sure.
After that little somber moment, now we're ready to
Yes.
get into some dick and fart jokes and,
Right.
maybe go order some videos from our distributor.
Oh, and before we get to it, so this came out in 94.
94.
94.
Missed the button. I graduated in 94,
Yeah.
and we just had our 30-year reunion.
Oh, no shit.
It was on Saturday, but I was in State College, so I ended up missing it.
Yeah. Who does it during Thanksgiving weekend?
I don't think we always have it on Thanksgiving weekend, but that's just, hey, look, I'm glad that somebody else was doing it,
Yeah.
right? The last handful of them,
You were doing?
yeah,
Oh my God, Dave.
yeah. So the fact that somebody else had taken, I was like, I'm after the, so this was the 30 year, right?
Yeah.
I did the last one I did was the 25, and I struggled with that one
Yeah.
because I just had so much going on. So it was like right when I was post retirement and jobbing and everything else, and then the 20-year one that was a big lift.
Mm-hmm.
And we do them every 5 years. My class is pretty. There's a good sized group of us that are stay close.
It's good.
But yeah, I missed it. But yeah, so now the same anniversary we're talking about for Clerks, that's as many years as I've been out of high school.
That's pretty crazy.
Fucking bonkers.
Yeah. And,
94.
I graduated in 95 the next year, but so many things about this movie resonate to where I was at the time, in the 94 or 95, 96 range, especially.
Right.
It was that post high school, still just working a job. I tried going to college for a semester. That didn't work. And, all the shenanigans that followed, which maybe we can get into some details as we go along. But yeah, so it came out in October of 94. So we just passed the 30th anniversary. And that is for when it was actually released in theaters because, Kevin Smith made this thing on a small budget of his own money. And he ended up selling it at the Sundance Film Festival in earlier that year, 94. Miramax picked it
94.
up. Fucking Harvey Weinstein, who apparently Kevin Smith has gotten the rights back from Weinstein, so he can now release Dogma because that was a reason why Dogma hasn't been out on any home video in a
Really?
while. Yeah, because Weinstein owned the rights and Kevin Smith wanted nothing to do with it after, all the shit came out about him. So
Oh shit.
there hasn't been an updated version of like the home video for Dogma in quite a while.
Yeah, because I have my original DVD
Yeah,
copy
same.
of it.
Yep.
Is there can you even get it digitally? I would imagine you can, right?
Probably. Yeah.
gotta be. It's some streaming service.
Probably
has to
just like Amazon, you can buy like the basic version, or rent it, but not. Which I did actually because I dug through my garage trying to find the fucking DVD, my original DVDs for Clerks, and I couldn't find it. Which I know I've got it somewhere in there. It's in a box in the garage. But yeah, so he made it on a budget of $27,000. We're going to talk about this again a little later. And it ended up making $4 million at the box office. Of course, a small little independent movie, but it's a nice turnaround, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it was released on all the home video. Like, it was fucking released on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, eventually a Blu-ray. There were multiple DVDs because I have the original, just the base movie DVD. And then they came out with what they called Clerks X. It was the 10-year anniversary of Clerks. They came out with this big DVD box set, which I bought. I don't know if they did anything for the 20th or not, but
I think they did. I didn't buy any of it, but I'm pretty sure that they did.
which now it's fuck. Buying the 10th anniversary DVD was 20 years ago. Oh my God. What the fuck happened to my life? Just more signs that we're getting old.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And normally when we do this, we talk about our history with the movies. And for me, I saw this back in 95 when it was out on VHS.
94.
Buddy of mine who was like super into movies, used to do a movie podcast with him back in the day. He introduced me to
that guy.
Yeah, he introduced me to Clerks. And I saw it one time, thought it was cool, very neat movie, some interesting concepts, but I never thought about it again until years later after I had met Kristen and she had me watch Chasing Amy with her.
Okay.
And I'm watching Chasing Amy and I'm like, she just talked about her best friend fucking a dead guy in a bathroom. I'm like, didn't I see that in a movie? And then Jay and Silent Bob show up. I'm like, weren't they in that movie too? And then it all kind of came together. And then I'm like, oh, I get it now. And then that's what started my love of the View Askewniverse, as they call it.
Right.
I immediately went out and watched Mallrats. And then like I was first in line when fucking Dogma came out. And then, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is like just one of the best movies ever. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I got into Clerks and then the whole rest of the Kevin Smith universe.
So I put in here literally that I don't remember when I saw it for the first time. It definitely wasn't in a movie theater.
Yeah.
It may have been on like VHS at Keesler. Might have been the first time I saw it.
Oh, that'd be about the time when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's when it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I saw it with like John McDonald and
Who nobody knows who that is.
right. Nobody else knows who that is. That's who my roommate in the dorms.
Yeah.
But we had my little 13-inch color TV that we had a VCR hooked up to.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
I had that same one. I bought it at the BX there.
Oh,
And,
I brought mine from
okay.
from home.
Yeah,
Or
I
I had it shipped because it was a PCS,
Sure.
right? Because they're so fucking long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had it shipped with my personal goods.
No, I bought one when I was there. But it was the same thing. It was like a small 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR.
Yeah, mine. What did we do with the VCR? I don't think it was my. It might have been my. Regardless, because that's how I saw South Park.
Oh, yeah.
We strung cable. Like you had a bunch of fucking electronics and avionics guys in a dorm.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the cable,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Oh,
it's almost like you're expected to, right? It's part of the thing. Anyway, so I know I watched it then, and I can honestly say that I have not seen any of the View Askewniverse in the theater. Like,
Yeah.
none of it.
The only one, well, I started seeing them in theaters when it was Dogma. But then I also saw Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back in the theaters and Clerks 2, I want to say. No, I didn't watch Clerks 2 until I was in an alert facility, pulling alert, and then they had the DVD there, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll watch this.
Yeah, I have the Clerks 2 DVD. I think I got that as a DVD 9, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you look at the front of it, it's a real shitty print. So I'm almost guaranteed that it was.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, DVD 9s are like
It's what you buy at the market in Thailand.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly.
Probably in China too.
Yeah, it had to be. You could get these DVDs and you buy them off the street for like 5 movies for $1, but you had to make sure they were DVD 9 because otherwise they wouldn't play in your DVD player
Yeah.
because of the coding. So yeah, with that was, God, I got a lot of DVD 9s.
Do you still have them?
Yeah,
I started purging a lot of my differently acquired DVDs.
I still have all that shit.
Do you?
It's not in the. There's a couple that are in the with the Sacred Jedi movies, which is
Yeah.
how I watched this one. I pulled Clerks out of, I had the original DVD
Mm-hmm.
and I pulled it out and I threw it into the Xbox Six and fucking watched it that way, which it was in the fucking 480 format. So
Yeah.
it completely wasted the amazing graphic capability of both the Xbox Six and my television
Yeah.
on this black and white fucking movie. But at least I was able to still see it.
Mhm.
It's worth keeping all these DVDs.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, that's how I watched it this time. No, that's it.
Yeah. So I had to rent it on Amazon because I couldn't find my DVDs,
Oh.
like I was saying before.
You mentioned Dogma, and I really think Dogma is one of those where I really think that we should do for the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Because I mean, as far as a general movie goes, I think that's Kevin Smith's best movie.
that's my all-time favorite.
Yeah. Now I have
of
some.
all of these.
Yeah. Now I have some favorites, based on the comedy and all of that. But if you're just looking for an actual movie, of course it's got some fantasy elements in there. But it's good. It's just a good movie all around.
Yeah, I really like Dogma. That DVD that I have, the copy of that I have is worn down almost as much as my copy of The Matrix and
Right.
Star Wars. Anyway, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And of course, we've traveled to Red Bank to the location
Yes.
of the filming of this.
Yes.
If you're on the stream right now, you can see the background. That animated picture is based off of a real picture of Dave and I in front of the Quick Stop. We were there with those guys, the 2 guys that, drove out here.
Brady and Don.
Yeah. See, you're not the only one losing it. Yeah, we went with them. We walked through the store, and several aspects of it still look like it was in the movie. And yeah, you can still go there. You can just drive up to Red Bank, New Jersey, and go into the Quick Stop, get a coffee, maybe some ice if they have some available.
Yeah, I mean the layout's the same.
Yeah, but if you walk in there, I've always heard this. If you walk in there and ask like the guy working the counter, like, "Oh, are you even supposed to be here today?" They'll kick your ass out.
Yeah, are you open?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Like, it's got to be better now.
I would imagine,
Right.
yeah.
A bunch of fucking assholes our age that have the ability to drive to Red Bank
Mm-hmm.
probably would have been a giant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But today, there's only going to be a handful of people that actually like have the awareness to fucking go
Mm-hmm.
and
But I mean,
absorb that.
yeah, and he still films there every now and again. They made Clerks 3 not that long ago. Clerks 2, which I think we need to talk about as a separate show.
Mm-hmm.
Rosario Dawson in that. Oh.
Yeah, she's the only good thing that came out of that movie.
I don't know. I thought it had some funny parts, but
It's some.
all right. Anyway, but we digress. So yeah, if you're anywhere in the New Jersey area and you want to see where they filmed this, the address is out there. You can just drive up, go
Yep.
in, buy something, and
Yep, go. Good luck finding a Gatorade. and
right.
Don't ask to use the bathroom.
Yeah, any lines like that will probably get you kicked out of the store. But
Right.
otherwise, if you just go in, buy some shit, look around, they
Yeah,
won't fuck with you.
yeah. It's a regular fucking store. Don't take the eggs out of the fucking. Don't start smashing the eggs around.
So anyway, getting into some of the background of the movie that we haven't talked about, talking about how Kevin Smith made this. Like, I think this is a fantastic example for somebody nowadays who wants to break into filmmaking, because it's almost impossible, right? To actually become like a Hollywood director or producer or whatever, because it's all fucking inbred now. It's all the kids of the previous generation all get these spots.
Right.
Very rarely does like a new breakout person happen who doesn't have some kind of connections.
Right.
So
Nepotism's a real thing.
yeah, especially in Hollywood. Fuck. But, Kevin Smith, he had an idea for a movie. He had an opportunity, a place to film it, and he was fucking brilliant when it came to writing. He wrote some of the best dialogue that you could imagine, and he knew he did, and he wanted to make a movie with that. So he literally called in all the favors he could. He fucking sold his comic book collection, which, he was a huge comic book guy at the time. He fucking maxed out like 8 credit cards, I think, to pull the money together to make this, $20,000 movie.
Which
And-
is insane. What is that in current?
Oh yeah, adjusted for inflation is probably at least double. But Dave's pulling that up right now, and Kevin Smith talks about it too. He people will ask him all the time, like how do I break into the movie business, and he basically says you just have to write something and you have to film it, because you're not going to walk into a movie studio with a script as a nobody off the streets and get any kind of acknowledgement, because they get thousands of people that do that every single day, I'm sure.
57,500.
Okay, so pretty decent by today's standards. It's buying a fancy car type of money.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he did it. He made it happen, and he filmed it all himself. He used a lot of his friends. He used some local actors, and ultimately he filmed it while they were closed at night. He'd work at the store during the day. It'd close. He'd start fucking filming, and then 5:30 a.m. when the store's supposed to open, they fucking pack it up and left, and he would stay and work the fucking show or the store. And apparently he was getting like no sleep during this time. It took like 3 weeks, I think they said. But yeah, he got almost no sleep for 3 weeks as he was filming and editing the thing at night.
I can't imagine. Like, you got to think of what editing was like even back in those days.
It was like a big table. They had like these big tables that you'd put the fucking reels in, and
Yeah.
you could, change them around. and-
Actually cutting film still,
Yeah.
in those days.
Yeah. So who knows? But back in the day, there were old unseen footage from Clerks just sitting on the floor in the.
I'll bet. It's funny too. You think about the transition era of things like we've seen it in Industrial Light and Magic, right? When, watching through those shows when they talk about the things that they were developing to, like George wanted. He wanted everything to be digital, right? So
Yeah.
they invented these machines to be able to make things digital to be able to do the editing.
Mm-hmm.
But even in 1994, they weren't at a point where that was accessible to people.
Right.
But it doesn't mean you couldn't do it, right? If you had
If you had the
film-
money, yeah.
if you had the film, you could still do edits. Like,
Yeah. Which I guess he rented out the machine that he used to edit. He rented it out, throw it into the RST video room, and
Right.
did his editing in there.
but and today, you talk about how do we do it today? If you're a Kevin Smith hopeful,
Yeah.
it's got
Yeah,
an
you got-
iPhone 16 with fucking 4K video.
Yeah.
And you can take the video and edit it, do a basic edit on it, all on your fucking phone.
Yeah.
You don't need all the extra shit
Yeah.
to be able to do something that is pretty good quality.
Yeah. The camera's better than probably the camera they were using back then.
Oh hell yeah.
And if they don't do the editing on their phone, there's tons of programs you can do on your computer. Like there's some free ones out there, and there's some really, really good pay ones. Like the Camtasia is a great example. That one's a really good editing
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
And you could like literally make a movie on that thing.
Yeah, I have a pay version of Camtasia, and I don't use it anywhere near the capability of what it's.
Oh, yeah.
It can be used for.
Same. And so I've had, two of my boys have actually had that dream of, wanting to be a filmmaker, get into the Hollywood business. And I told them both, like, go watch this movie. And that's how you're going to get in. It's the only way you're going to get in. Because, again, you can go through film school and then you can start dropping scripts and everything, but more than likely, nothing's going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
If anything, you get, some minor role on the set, like building sets or setting up microphones or something, but that's the extent of what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Just because of how difficult it is to break in. So,
yeah, I think these days it's like what Kevin Smith would have to do is he'd have to make this and have a bunch of shorts on YouTube that would get a bunch of views, and then build that into, okay, this is what this movie is going to be.
Yeah.
And you'd have this swell on social media to be able to make it go, and this is how you'd have to market it and make the big push to do it. Which, cool, you have the platform now to be able to do that. You're not sucking dick to fucking he
might have been anyway, but
it could have been.
Has nothing to do with the production of the movie.
Harvey Weinstein or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Fucking, like Jay talking about having a full-blown conversation about.
Oh, I love this monologue.
Yeah.
If you're talking that first one, he's like, he comes out like, man, I can't wait for this party tonight. I'm gonna fuck this bitch. I'm gonna fuck that bitch. I'm gonna fuck anything that moves. And then they see the other guy. He's like, you see this fucking guy over there? I'm gonna rip off his fucking head, take out his fucking soul. You're a rude motherfucker, Silent Bob. I wouldn't mind going down on you, suck you, nine other guys, make like a circus seal. Ooh, you fucking faggot.
Yeah.
I hate guys.
Yeah, the entire thing is like going on in his own fucking world.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, okay. It was just fucking great. What a probably I think so. You have in your notes, you have a series of things that some highlight stuff that you wanted to go through, right? And there's a couple of points that I know that you're going to touch on that I have my inputs for. So I don't want to blow my proverbial snowball just yet.
Yeah. And again, I want to just say that this, like, I really, connected with this movie because when I was out of high school, I was working as a security guard at a Ford dealership. I think I've told that story before. And that was basically my Dante working at the fucking store, right? Because, I just went in, tried to do my job, but also fucked around a lot. And I had friends come over, and I actually had a girl come over once, and we were fooling around in one of the cars in the lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, it was interesting.
That's funny.
But, I resonate that time with what this is happening in Clerks.
Dude, in October of 94, what was I doing? Oh, I was working at the Christmas shop, and the Woolworth Christmas shop.
Oh, yeah. We've heard those stories.
Yeah.
Beach Boys Christmas.
Yep. I was decorating fucking Christmas trees and dealing with fucking crotchety old ladies.
Yep. But yeah, if you want like a pure Gen X movie, I think this is it. It just shows how this is why we were called the slacker generation. These guys that they don't really fucking do anything. They still live at home, work at these random fucking jobs going nowhere.
Why was he in when this movie starts, Dante is like
he's in the closet.
He's in the closet. I don't remember that part.
No.
Until I watched it today. I'm like, why is he in his closet?
I think that was just
like,
a funny
if he just
gag.
worked the night shift, like, I don't know. I was just like,
well, maybe he was getting off of a pretty big bender. Yeah, the night before, because he certainly wasn't ready to get up when he got that phone call.
no.
Which that's how the movie starts too. It's his boss calls him, says he needs him to work today. He's like, no, I'm playing hockey today. And then of course we get for the rest of the movie every little thing that goes wrong. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
So yeah, and So one of the first gags that goes throughout the show is the shoe polish, because right, it starts with the gum being jammed in the locks,
Right.
which was an excuse for how they were able to film at night. Having the shades drawn so the sunlight wouldn't get in, so that people wouldn't be like, "Why isn't it daytime out there?" Because they always had to film at night, regardless. Blah blah blah. It was a way to get them to.
I never put those two things together, but now you say that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And, he built the sign, or he made the sign with fucking shoe polish and hung it out, basically the sheet covering the store. I assure you we're open.
Right.
And everybody that comes in contact with him at that point, asks about the shoe polish.
I assure you, ASSURE.
Yeah. But either way, it's like a running gag. You shoe polish smelling motherfucker.
Right.
Well, how does everybody know what shoe polish smells like? Like, I polished my fucking shoes back in the day in our early days of the military, and I couldn't even tell you what it smells like. But yet his girlfriend, his fucking random hockey player friend, somebody else, they all made shoe polish comments throughout the movie.
I mean, I could probably tell you what shoe polish smells like.
Yeah. I mean, once I smell it again, I'd recognize it.
Yeah.
But some random people that you just know happen to know. I think it was a funny gag, and of course, I think the whole point was, nobody's really going to know what it smells like.
I think in the 90s people were wearing boots and shit. Like, remember guys were complimenting, Doc Martens and shit like that. So having shoe polish on stuff, people polish their shoes. Like, you polished shoes were leather; they weren't plastic.
Yeah.
I think shoe polish. You were coming out of an era where, like, all right, if you were dressed up, your shoes had to be polished.
Okay.
So it may be more
like
common.
shoe shine stations.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, if you were at a barber shop in those times, you went to a barber shop, you most likely could get your shoe shined also.
That is true.
Because it was just part of the deal. If you were in the airport, because
Oh yeah.
when I went from working at Woolworth and I started at the airport, they had shoe shine places all over the fucking airport.
Yeah. The last shoe shine place I ever saw was in an airport.
Yeah.
So
So it definitely was a thing back in the day.
yeah. And it was just a funny running gag throughout the movie. And then, of course, it starts with the Chuli's gum representative. That whole scene, which was hilarious.
I forgot that she fucking hit him with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
There was moments in this when I watched it today, because I put it on today.
Mm.
There was moments that I was like, I forgot this bit, I forgot that bit,
Mm.
and especially in the beginning, because I don't know, maybe I just like kind of just glaze over until I get to 37.
37.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row? Which is immediately after this part, really.
Yeah.
With fucking
when Veronica comes in.
yeah,
and
she gets the fire extinguisher out. I just thought that was fucking hilarious. And what is she standing on? Like, is she standing? So when you walk in, there's
maybe that coffee counter that's right there when you walk into the store. That's what it seems like to me.
It's like the coffee counter, and then there was like I thought there was like an end cap there. It seemed like she was standing like right in front of the register.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out, like, today I was watching, I'm like, where is she actually standing?
Well, and too, if you walk through that store, there's not a lot of room in there.
There isn't.
It's a very small store.
Yeah, it's
So trying to get different camera angles and stuff is probably pretty difficult.
right. And one handheld camera too. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
here's this shot from this angle, then we're gonna come over and get this shot from this angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you had multiple angles. They must have had a ladder. I bet you they had a ladder,
Yeah.
and maybe she was up on a ladder.
Yeah. Or like a footstool or something. But yeah.
Oh, she was tiny.
Yeah. She was a little girl.
All right.
I love though when the fucking Chuli's guy he's got the big mob there now, right? And he's fucking lecturing him, and he's like, "Oh, and this is the part where he says he's just following orders. Well, you know who else just followed orders?
Right.
They were called Nazis." And then you hear a guy in the background go, "Fucking Nazi!" Like, yeah, yeah. I love that little just ad lib thing there. The fucking Nazi.
Yep. And who's in charge of this mob?
Yeah.
You're just here to sell Chuli's gum.
Mm-hmm.
Who carries around a liver in their fucking no, it was a lung.
Yeah,
Who
it's a
carries around
cancer-ridden lung.
a lung in their fucking bag?
Right. Or the trach ring
Right.
that he
Jesus Christ.
Well, it was a new way of advertising. They tried something a little different. Don't know if it worked out for Chuli's, but
Do you think back in those times that we'd ever
back
get
in those times, back in
back in
the days of yore.
back in the 90s, did you ever think that we would be at a point where like smoking would be so like it'd be such a segmented part of the population that it's like, okay, they're smokers, but they're over here. Like,
Right.
here's your designated area. That's where you're going to smoke. Not here, not here, not here, not
Yeah.
here, right there.
Because I tell you what, growing up in the 70s and 80s, like it
no.
was fucking everywhere. Like
Yeah.
every fucking member of my family, I think, did. And it was just, ugh.
I can tell you that my mother smoked, and the sequence. I'm jumping ahead, but the sequence where Randall sells the fucking
Oh, the little
cigarettes
kid.
to the 4-year-old.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I would be sent to the store.
Yes.
Constantly.
Me too. My mom would literally hand me a note and a couple dollars, and I would hand it to the fucking clerk,
Right.
and they'd give you her
the
cigarettes, and then you take it home.
I can give you the entire sequence of cigarettes that my mother smoked at any given time. Like I can remember it to this day because I would go so frequently. It had True. Remember the cigarette brand True?
No.
It had like dude, and it's this visual. It was a soft pack, and it was a white pack, and it had True, and it was written in blue.
Mm.
It reminded me of Tron.
Oh,
When
yeah.
Tron was out.
Yeah.
And so it was True, and it had this emblem. It almost looked like a Mercedes emblem,
Mhm.
but really I think it was like the filter. Now, once I got older, I kind of associated it with it.
Right.
But yeah, so it was True, and then it was Virginia Slims.
Mm.
So I'd be going and getting like fucking Virginia Slims. There was a one in between that I can't think of right now.
Right.
But for years, just going and getting and having, like, just being around it. Like, if I get a whiff of cigarette smoke, it puts me in a fury.
Really?
Yeah, and it's something that has gotten worse rather than better. It's really interesting as I've gotten older, and maybe other people can relate to this. There's things that you would think would mellow out as you get further away from it,
Mm.
and then there's some things that just get worse.
Right.
I think wave propagation, right? When in the beginning it only bothers you this much, but then as you get further away from it, it's just gets your reaction to it gets bigger. The amplitude is bigger.
Yeah, for me, it's more the fact that, like, why the fuck would you do that to these kids? Like, smoke like chimneys with these kids in the car.
Yeah.
Oh God, it would happen in the car all the time.
And then be shocked when kids started smoking.
Yeah.
Like, you made it so accessible to them.
Yeah.
Like, it was my mother shared cigarettes with one of the neighborhood kids.
Really?
Yeah. Like he started smoking, and it was a thing. Oh man, it fucking pissed me off. Urgh.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to get hung up on
Yeah.
it.
Let's stay on the positive trail.
But it's this whole thing with smoking, and talking 94.
Yeah, 94.
94.
I'm an adult now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over 18 by this point.
Yep.
And I've basically I had never put a cigarette in my mouth in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and still haven't to this day. Never once. Like, not even to try it or anything else. I am vehemently against it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for that reason. Like, if I get a whiff of it now, to think those kids in 94.
The sacred Jedi.
I don't know how I wasn't even near that button.
94.
There we go.
Yeah.
That we've gotten this far. Like the chewy gum guy would be fucking ecstatic.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
At how far we've come.
Yeah, because it's like you said, they've all been kind of pushed into a corner at this point, and it's not nearly as socially acceptable as it once was.
Right. When did the smoking in bars ban start?
Probably in the 90s, but probably only in some very liberal areas. Because I know the conservatives fought it forever. Fucking, I was still eating in a Waffle House back in like 2010, where a dude was smoking in it in Tennessee, I think.
Well, I mean, A, it was the South. B, it was Waffle House.
Right.
C, it was Waffle House.
Right. But either way, like people were still smoking in restaurants in certain parts of the country into the 2010s. But I think it's pretty much been eliminated outside of Las Vegas.
Even in Vegas.
No, they still let them in the casinos.
In Jersey, in the casinos, they relegated it to certain areas where you can smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And then even those areas now are like, I think they're doing away with.
Oh, nice.
Because it's a shame, actually, because you used to be able to like identify where you were in the casino floor by like, oh, there's a smoking section. Like,
Yeah.
You had that extra sense.
Yeah.
Like,
so I turn left here and go up the escalator,
right.
and that's how I get
and
to
the smell starts to dissipate as it's going away from me. So I know I'm going in the right direction.
Anyway, that was a lot of time spent on the Chuli's gum guy.
Fucking Nazis.
Fucking Nazi. Yeah.
I love that in the chat right now, there's been a Crocs conversation for a while.
Crocs.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and see what started that.
Yeah. I think it was, we were talking about getting shoe shines.
Oh.
And now people just wear Crocs. And then, started the whole thing.
Yep. So, yeah, then Veronica shows up, and that's when we get her and Dante, sitting behind the desk fucking off.
Right.
He just put the fucking change on the counter and, lets people, take papers and coffee as they as they come and make change themselves. So again, that lines up. And then they're talking about each other's sexual history, and she gets all pissed when he says he's been with 10 girls.
12.
Was it 12?
12.
Okay, I thought it was 10. Either way. And then
It's 12 because the dead broad was number 6.
oh, right. And and she only had been with 3 guys, and that was kind of the conversation, right? Because she was all pissed because she'd only been with 3 different guys, where he'd been with 12 girls. And then we very quickly shift gears because the one guy, the Willem guy, the
Snowball.
Snowball. He's in there. He's all fucking probably potted out of his mind or something.
You two love birds.
You take it easy.
Take it easy.
Yeah, taking a page out of Cheech and Chong. And then they go into the Snowball conversation, which like
Oh, God.
to each their own, I guess. But
so
oh my God,
casual about it.
Yeah.
Like even by my own today's raunchy standard, I'm just like, wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And this is the thing in '94 when they were talking about it in a movie. So.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about the NC-17 rating.
No, because it initially had gotten one, but they lawyered up, and their lawyers were able to talk him down to an R rating. But they didn't have to edit anything.
Nice.
And it was all because of mostly the dialogue. My pipes need cleaning. Stick it where it doesn't belong. Rim job anal worshippers. Anyway, so and then of course the big revelation that she snowballed the guy. And Dante's like, "You sucked that guy's dick? Well, you said you only been with 3 other guys." And then it goes, "How many? How many dicks have you sucked?"
Meanwhile, some lady walks up.
Yeah.
He's making change.
Well, something like 36. Wait.
Something like?
Does that include me?
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
I'm 37.
We'll do it.
No.
It's on a different.
Sucked 37 dicks.
It's on a different page, but he's like, "I'm 37," and oh my God, he freaks the fuck out. Which, I mean, I could kind of see it from his perspective.
That's
You
a
know?
lot of dicks.
It is.
37 is a lot. Like, just take a moment. Just
Mhm.
take a moment. Close your eyes. Everyone with me.
All right, I'll do it too.
I want you all.
Mhm.
Just close your eyes right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want you to imagine one penis. Just imagine it.
Okay.
Now, have two penises.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, have 30 penises. That's a lot of penises.
And then
Now add 7 more penises. That's a lot of penises.
yes.
So,
And, you know,
yeah,
these-
I can see how I'd be upset.
And these people are only in their early 20s. You know, they're only a couple years out
Right.
of high school. So
For her, she was maintaining her chastity by sucking dick
apparently so.
because it's not sex.
Yeah. But she probably had a lot of one night dick stands. You know, just going out with some random dude.
Wasn't herpes a thing? Like, what were we worried about in the 90s?
Well, it was
Like,
still AIDS.
AIDS,
Yeah.
right?
Like, I wasn't, fully. Well, I mean, I knew herpes was a thing, but I didn't realize how prevalent it was until like the 2000s.
I can't read that.
What is it? Okay, hang on. What do you?
94.
No. That's.
90.
This is the 94 page. If you couldn't tell.
Things go
No,
well, I might
but-
be showing her my O face. Oh,
I forgot we had this.
Bottom right.
I'm 37?
Yes.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
There we go.
And I'll never be able to think about the number 37
No, never.
and not think about that ever for the rest of my life. Sidebar. So we're doing this inventory at work, right? And it's this just monotonous stuff that we're looking for, all this shit. And every once in a while, it was like me and 2 other people. And we'd get to like the 94th item in the list, and I'd be like, 94. And then it was just an awkward silence. Like, oh, yeah, he wouldn't get that.
Yes. Nobody gets it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're not listening to my fucking podcast.
I know. I think we are the only ones who ever thought about that until
load letter.
until we started doing the pod.
94.
There it is.
94.
I got a 94 on this
94.
page.
94.
Dave really missed the soundboard
94.
while we were gone.
Yeah.
94.
Closest thing I ever get to being a DJ.
94.
Yeah.
94.
Then of course we
94.
have Jay and Silent Bob show up, and that's when Jay has his monologue, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this bitch. I'm gonna fuck that bitch. I'll fuck anything that moves.
I think we all knew Jay. We
Yeah.
all had a Jay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That we knew. Just fucking just off kilter.
Yeah. His
just a
name
little
was
bit.
Jerry in my high school.
And
Yes.
and he sprinkled some drugs on him.
Yeah.
And it just got so much funnier.
Yeah.
Like just out of his fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the Silent Bob type, but definitely the J type.
Right.
That
Right.
Everyone has that one.
Yeah, and he just has so many wisecracks. We later on his cousin from Moscow,
Right.
shows up and sings the Berserker song.
Right.
Which my brother-in-law had a T-shirt, which was the guy going like this into the mic, and it just said Berserker on the bottom.
Did you say make fuck?
Yeah. Would you like some making fuck Berserker?
Fucking the fucking hair on these broads when they show up.
Oh
'Cause it's
yeah.
the end of the fucking big poof. The fucking hair
Yep.
styles going through what is just chock full in our fucking high school yearbooks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, I remember the hairstyles.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. Then we had Randall show up,
Right.
and Randall's the
30 minutes late.
Yeah, he's the fucking goof off who doesn't give a shit about anything and
Right.
just wants to watch videos while he's at work.
Yeah. He worked at a video store.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Right.
Like-
And then, of course, that came to a line later on in the movie where he wanted to go to a different video store, a better video store. I
Right.
work at a shitty video store. I want to get some good videos.
It's like, I want to borrow your car. Like, for what? Like, I want to go to Big Choice Video.
Yeah.
Like, you work at a video store. Oh, I work at a shitty video store. This is it is a time capsule of what the video store meant to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how you accessed other movies.
Yeah.
You know, which is unheard of now. I mean, I fucking went into my iPad while we were talking about Dogma.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, I want a movie.
There
Fucking
it is.
movies. How much do you want to pay for it? You know, basically.
Yeah.
Depending on what streaming service or whatever. Oh, by the way, Dogma, when I search for it in the Apple library,
Mm-hmm.
not available.
No shit. Okay, so I think they're still waiting before they re-release it.
So I just keep my DVD handy
Hell yeah.
for when we do it. Anyway,
So Randall and the video store.
it's a time. I was saying it's a time capsule or what the video store still meant
Yeah.
to us, and we've talked about this when we talk about other movies too. It's just like,
But yeah, it's like people literally coming to a video store during the day and they're like, I wanted a movie for tonight,
yep,
you know? And or sometimes people camping out at movie stores
Yeah.
waiting for them to open.
yeah, you knew something was going to get released, so you camped out or
Yeah.
like, oh hey, we're going to get in right away.
And I tell you what, Friday nights at Blockbuster, man, it was hopping.
This video store put me in mind of the video store that I grew up with, and I think I've talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we're talking about the brown covers on all the videos, right? You know, that video store
Yeah.
didn't have all fancy covers on it; just had the generic brown fucking cover. Like, here's your rental,
Mm-hmm.
and that place, was next to, or is connected to, a Domino's Pizza.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
talk about brilliant. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm going to walk in here, I'm going to rent a movie, grab a pizza, fucking take off. Like,
Yeah.
It was just absolutely brilliant.
Go home and have a good night.
Yeah. And what's there now? Oh, the whole fucking, like, if you're on Evesham,
Mhm.
right, heading towards my house.
Yep.
And you go past the traffic light, there's like a Catholic church, catty corner to the Catholic church.
Yeah.
There's a Walgreens, or
Uh-huh.
what used to be a Walgreens is Dollar General now.
Yeah.
That property used to be like a strip mall. It was like a small strip mall,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it had a Domino's Pizza on a corner,
Mm-hmm.
and then next to that was the movie rental place, and then next to that was like random shit over the years. But that was the movie rental place for like my entire childhood. Blockbuster was all the way down on the White Horse Pike. Like, it wasn't even close to where we were.
Yeah.
Like, Blockbuster was the Big Choice Video. If
Yep.
if they didn't have it at the fucking
At the
the
small
other
place. Yeah.
What was the name of that place?
I remember like those old video stores having some crazy fucking horror movies. Like if it was a good store that had like a big horror movie section, they had some of the craziest shit. Like
I can't. I maybe went into that store, the actual fucking video store, maybe 3 times in my entire life.
right.
Like, that was like dad territory.
Uh
Like, dad went in there. Like,
Yeah.
I put stuff in the Dropbox. Like,
mhm.
if it when it's time to return it, I would, all right, get out of the car, go put this in the box.
I remember the first time I ever did that. My mom, like, she parked in front of the store. She's like, all right, go take this and stick it in that slot right there. I'm just like, just shove it in through there and then it'll be fine. She's like, yeah, just go put it in there.
Chunk.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we're good. Like, yeah, that was my job. I never went into that fucking store. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, maybe 3 times in my entire life.
Yeah.
My job was to sit in the fucking car. Like, I don't know why. I don't, like, it was some mystical place where the brown boxes came in and brown boxes.
Oh,
you know,
maybe the porns were within
Maybe.
eyesight. Because yeah, some fucking video stores back in the day, you know, they wouldn't hide the porn in its own section,
Well,
or they would, but it
even if it wasn't,
be
if he
easily
was
seeable.
if he was picking something up, then he didn't want me to maybe see that he was picking it up. He could just like fucking grab the videos and
yeah,
who knows, but it was like it was a mystery.
yeah,
The video store. Anyway, romanticizing about video stores, and this, honestly, aside from like Be Kind, Rewind,
mhm.
right? Have you seen that movie?
No,
Sidebarring, we were in the old ComSec office.
hmm
It was me. I think it was me and Liam. It was me and Liam or me and John.
Mhm.
We're sitting in there, and No, it was me and John, and we had the. I think we were drinking White Russians and just.
In the old ComSec office?
Oh yeah,
Hopefully this was after work.
yeah. We were so it was a trip that we ended up having to delay. So we like stayed in the alert facility and we alerted out of the thing rather than go home. So yeah, we just seen it like you do.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
we had PlayStation fucking.
Oh, I remember.
We had we had a great setup in the old ComSec office.
Yeah.
So anyway, we watched something and then it was like, oh well, let's watch this. And we put it in, and it was actually like for the first like 35 minutes of it, we started to kind of get into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it could have been White Russians. It could have been, but we were like kind of getting into it, and then it quit. Like we couldn't get the movie to continue.
Oh.
So we're like, I've never seen the second half of that movie, like ever. Like, and John will tell you, like, it was just like, what the fuck? What's wrong with this?
Yeah.
I think we called Liam at some point, and it was like late.
Hey man, the fucking video
What's
isn't
wrong with
working.
your fucking movie, man? Yeah, it's God, so much shenanigans out of that fucking office. It was
Yeah.
such a good time. Ah, the good old days.
Anyway, we should probably get
Anyway.
back to Clerks.
Yes.
we took a very long sidebar there. So yeah, Randall shows up, proves just how much of a fuck off he is, and the whole time, the whole plot of this thing is Dante's with this girl Veronica, but he's really pining over his ex Caitlin, who's kind of back in his life, I guess, and he's really wanting to get with her and figure out a way to get rid of Veronica. So, you know, the whole Caitlin thing happens when we start seeing the newspaper ad that her mother took out for the Asian design major, or Asian drum major, as some
Right.
people call it.
Right.
And I'm just like, I love the fact that they put the word Asian in the fucking headline. Like, Caitlin Bree to marry Asian design major. Like,
Well, that's significant, probably, to that family. It's
Right.
oh, hey, look.
yeah, she's marrying an Asian.
Right. Generic Asian. What flavor Asian?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Does he have a name? Well, we find out later what his
Yeah.
name is. It's Sing.
Sang.
Sang.
Sang. Sing sang.
Yeah. We're not racist.
No, we're talking about the movie,
Right.
but Asian.
Yeah.
Just Asian.
Mm-hmm. Which is hilarious.
Yeah. And back in those days, that's how you fucking announced shit like that. Like, hey, I'm gonna send this to the paper.
Yeah. We'll go
Okay.
ad in the paper.
Hey, remember in Basic, you had to fill out that form so that they could make the announcement in the paper that you were graduating.
Yeah.
It was like a press release.
Mhm.
So you filled out basically this thing so that they could send, if your family wanted to submit a press release that, hey, you're graduating basic training, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you had to fill this form out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I highly doubt they do that shit now. Highly doubt it.
Now, even though that's like the main plot of the story of the movie, it's all about these funny bits that happen throughout the course of the movie, like the egg tester that we were
Yes.
talking about before. You know, the guy who's like rolling the eggs and doing like weight tests and
This is one of those sequences. It would have been amazing to watch it being filmed
yeah,
because it looks like they did it almost in one take, right?
yeah, and he was probably ad-libbing the whole thing.
Right. Randall's just staring, right, and then homeboy comes in.
That was the girl. The girl.
No. Who's? Oh fuck! Why am I forgetting names? Anyway, he's just like he's been.
Oh yeah, because Dante was sitting there staring at
It
him.
was Dante,
and then Randall.
and then
came
Randall
in.
comes in,
Yeah,
and then he's like, yeah, he's been trying to find a perfect carton of eggs,
yeah.
and he's spinning this shit, and then the girl walks up and diagnoses it right away.
Yep.
And he's probably a guidance counselor, you know, for some reason. They call it what. They call it
I don't remember what.
shell shocked.
Oh,
They call
yeah.
it shell shocked,
So if-
and it's something with guidance counselors.
yeah, like if your life was as pointless as theirs,
Right.
you'd go crazy too.
Yeah. This is why I what she says? This is why I masturbate.
Caged animals
Caged-
for artificial insemination.
Yes. Yeah. The whole sequence was fucking funny.
Yeah. Yeah, between the egg guy, and then of course it ends with him smashing him on the glass. His head's all down, and he's
Keith Lehman's saying that was Kevin Smith's sister that comes in and delivers that line.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Because again,
it's a good job.
he's making it on a very small budget, so he's got to call in all the favors he can.
Right.
Having his buddies and his family.
She comes in a pantsuit and fucking delivers.
Yeah.
Or it might have been a skirt. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Didn't see much of it.
Yeah, it's almost all just headshots anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fucking love that sequence. Another great one was the Death Star conversation.
Right.
Because, Kevin Smith, obviously, huge Star Wars fan, and he makes Star Wars references in every one of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were talking about the contractors, the innocent contractors who worked on the second Death Star when it
Right.
was blown up.
Because Randall's over there watching Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And so he's like watching it. Which the sounds coming from the movie are obviously not Star Wars.
No.
But he comes over and indicates that he's been watching Return of the Jedi and initiates this conversation about the innocence of the contractors that are involved in this half-built fucking Death Star.
Casualties of a war they had nothing to do with.
Right. And then what was he? He was a fucking roofer.
Yeah.
Comes over and talks about how some dude he turned down a job that was for some fucking mobster, and then the partner he's turns that job down but gives it to another guy, and then that guy ends up getting shot because it was a mobster's house.
Yeah. And I love too, he's like, so I turned the job over to a friend of mine.
Right.
So yeah.
And now he's dead.
Yeah. So good job.
So
you're a great friend.
You gotta you're gonna pick your jobs with your heart. You're with your heart, not money.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just walks out, and then they're just sitting there staring at each other.
Yeah, and then I think it's playing the Chewbacca song, the Chewbacca.
Yeah.
What a Wookiee.
Yep.
Do, 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 do.
Was there a soundtrack released for
Yes.
this?
Yeah, because that Soundgarden song, or not Soundgarden, starts with an S, the Runaway Train people. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, though.
Yes.
Soul Asylum.
Soul Asylum.
Yeah. They had a music video for their song in the movie. And yeah, it did have a soundtrack release.
I did not procure it. There is little bits and bobs of good music in here.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting here looking behind you at a copy of Endor.
Oh yeah. Good painting.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I love that whole Star Wars conversation. And then of course they got into the whole which is the better sequel, Empire or Jedi.
Right.
And Dante's of course the pessimist, so he picks Empire.
Right.
Whereas Randall he was a Jedi guy.
Chris Forsyth says the milkmaid was his mom.
The milkmaid. Oh yeah, the person who's looking for the perfect gallon of milk, or
Right.
the one that won't expire for
a decade.
Yeah.
Get it. What's he wants them to get angry at the customers.
Yeah. And then that's right, they had this cool sequence where it was these same three people going into each store and saying like dumb shit.
Right.
Like, what do you mean there's no ice? I got to drink this coffee hot?
Right, exactly. All right.
What? You okay?
Eh.
Do you need to pee?
Eh.
All right. Okay, so we'll pause right there, and we will take a very quick break because Dave has to pee.
Yeah, Dave was trying to hold it, and unfortunately anymore when Dave tries to hold peeing,
It's not good.
it gets painful.
Yeah. All right. Well, that being said, we will take a very quick break and be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Colt 45, it's a dynamite taste, it's a grin, it's a groove, it's a blast. Colt 45, it's a dynamite taste, it's a win, it's a definite blast. Colt 45, and loaded with
Love that commercial. So while we were talking, I got a text from Lunar Girl, and she had mentioned that Clerks is on YouTube right now for free, I think. Or not Clerks, Dogma. And, YouTube's been doing this a lot lately. They've actually been having really good movies on YouTube for free, essentially. You got to have an account and sign in and all that. But, yeah, they've had some decent movies on there. I remember it had Galaxy Quest for like 6 months, where you could just go onto YouTube and watch Galaxy Quest for free. No subscription or anything needed. And they're constantly rotating the movies, too, because they don't stay very long. But, yeah, they'll have good releases like that. And they have Dogma right now, apparently. So, highly recommend people go check that out. Now, let me see if I can find... Oh, my God, so much chat. Yeah, I'm not going to catch up. It's too much. Too much. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It goes back to the very beginning of the show, the Colt 45 thing. Yeah, so many things. So many things are just. Oh, Galaxy Quest is still on there. Damn. But yeah, the whole Colt 45 thing we were talking about Lando in an episode, and the whole subject of the Colt 45 commercials came up, and that's been our sponsor since the beginning. You okay?
Better now.
All right. Well, whenever you are
Colt
ready.
45.
Really? You
Yep.
couldn't have done that outside?
Howdy.
All right. Well, if you're ready, let's go. And we're back.
I'm 37?
So, while we were on break, Kelly texted us and mentioned that Dogma is actually free on YouTube right now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, because I was talking during the break about how YouTube does this thing now where they have just free movies on there. You don't have to be a subscriber or anything. You just go and you watch the fucking movie for free. And
So you just have the ad breaks probably to deal with?
when I was watching movies on there not too long ago, there weren't even ad breaks.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know how they're generating. Could be my ad blockers, though, too. But
Maybe.
however they're generating revenue for that, I don't know. But,
Well, don't knock it, I guess.
yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, you mentioned wanting to watch Dogma, so there you go. We talked about the egg tester. The next scene that I thought was fucking hilarious was when he was ordering videos from the distributor. You know,
yeah.
You had the mom in there with the kid, happy, scrappy hero pup.
Right.
Was what she wanted. And he's like, all right, I'm on the phone with the distributor right now. All right, I need one each of the following movies. Put it where it doesn't belong.
Right.
my holes need hard shaft. And he just keeps rattling the fucking
Just
all the porn names.
A dozen plus porn names.
Yeah.
And then says, oh, what was that title again?
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Fucking
good
great.
bit.
Yeah, the best is he remembers, like, oh, I got to put in an order. And then Dante's like,
You're not even paying attention.
not even pay attention.
So anyway,
37?
yeah, I love that bit. I loved, well, of course, we finally get to where Caitlin shows up. And there's a lot of stuff that happened in between. He bumped into Alyssa Jones' sister, Alyssa Jones, who is the main character in Chasing Amy.
Right.
The girl that was there was her sister, and Rick Darris, who, you know, it gets mentioned in Chasing Amy again and in some other places. So they leave. Caitlin shows up.
Right.
And,
Well, and you know, and Dante finds out that
oh, yeah, that
Rick
she's,
fucked Caitlin while
Yeah,
they were
like-
dating,
yeah.
which he doesn't apparently care about.
Yeah, and then the girl's like, I'm surprised you didn't know. Everybody knew, even in my class.
And honestly, like at watching this movie, back in those days, like the most attractive girl out of all of these
Mm-hmm.
was Caitlin to me.
I'd say so. Who, by the way, is no longer with us. She died a couple years ago.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin Smith announced that after it happened.
Oh, I think I did. I remember seeing that because I follow Veronica on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
What is she doing these days?
I don't know. Posting on Instagram.
Yeah, but yeah, she died a couple years ago. Sad face. But yeah, she shows up. Her and Dante are talking. Oh, we forgot to talk about the fucking toilet paper guy because that's what leads into this.
Oh yeah.
The old pervert that wants to use their bathroom and then fucking read some porn mags while he's there.
Yeah. The guy who's like starts off with those things will give you cancer. The fucking the fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
The stuff in there will give you cancer. Hang on, I gotta find this. I got.
What are you looking for? All right.
Look at the picture of
The top one?
yeah.
What is that? Oh. Oh.
That's not what we're looking for, but
No. But maybe it is what we're looking for.
what's her name? What's the actress's name?
Oh, fuck. I couldn't tell you. That's the thing, too. Besides other Kevin Smith properties, none of these actors did anything else anywhere, as far as I know. And I say actors loosely because...
Well, I mean, yeah, when you get a bunch of friends together to fucking do some shit.
Yeah. Let's see. According to IMDb...
Like Silent Bob did stuff.
Marilyn Gigliotti. Wow. Could she be more Italian? Gigliotti.
Spell Marilyn. MARILYN. There it is.
And Caitlin was Lisa Spoonhour. I'll be damned. She looks good. Actor, producer, director, Veronica. She was in Clerks 3? I haven't seen Clerks 3 yet.
I haven't either.
Oh, shit. Interesting. All right, well, we'll put a pin in that and come back to it.
Yeah. She's followed by Quick Stop Groceries, by the way.
Well, I need to follow Quick Stop Groceries myself.
Yeah, I was already following it. But
Nice.
how did I end up following her? There was something... I forget. I forget why.
Anyway, getting back to the movie. So, yeah, the old guy comes in, and it's funny about the cancer thing because he had just had that whole cancer conversation with the Chuli's gum guy earlier,
Uh-huh.
and now the guy's saying the fluorescent lights, oh, they'll give you cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into this long thing about the wanting to use the bathroom and then wanting softer toilet paper.
Right. Being this just over the top, like Jewish impression, I
Yeah.
guess. Over the top,
Yeah.
which probably couldn't get away with today.
Well, now, do you think it was an impression, or do you think he was just the Jewish guy that lived around the corner?
I don't know, but I think it was a little much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, sonny boy, I can't even do it. Like they're the limiter in me, the you're going to get in trouble limiter.
Right.
Like it won't let me go that far, even for me.
Right.
I mean, if I practice, I probably can get there. But yeah, it just seemed like it was over the top.
No, the other one. They got bigger titties in there.
Right.
So, yeah, he takes the porn mag and the soft toilet paper to the bathroom.
Right.
And they did it at such a time where so much happens after that, like the funeral and everything else, that you completely forget about the guy. Like watching
Right.
the movie for the first time, you completely forget about the dude.
Right. It's just another passerby
Yeah.
that you forget about.
Yeah, because you think he's done his business and he's left.
Right.
But come to find out later, when Caitlin is getting ready to...
When she comes out of the bathroom all disheveled.
Yeah. And, oof, that was good shit. She's saying shit like, oh, is this how you act after you violate a woman? And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And, Randall's in there just watching fucking hermaphrodite porn.
Right.
Which, that whole thing right? So he goes to Big Choice Video to get that, of all things.
Right.
And he did it so that him and Dante could watch it together.
I just so we would watch it together.
Hermaphrodite porn, chicks with dicks. I'm like, oh my God, that's too much. And yeah, I don't think I'd ever go rent a porn to watch with you, Dave. No offense, but
I'm right there with you, buddy.
but again, this
or
is
not there with you.
yeah. So anyway, and then this leads to her, going in and fucking the dead guy in the bathroom,
Right.
Leading to some severe trauma, and she's gone after this.
Right. Never to be seen again.
Yep. And then, you know, Jay and Silent Bob. Well, go ahead.
No, I didn't see it until today, ironically. But did you see the tent pole?
Oh
And
yeah,
Homeboy
when they were
when
covering
he-
him up, he had the massive erection.
What in the back of the ambulance, and she's in the ambulance.
Yeah.
And they close the door, and he's got the fucking massive tent pole thing going.
Yeah.
I didn't see that until today.
Oh no shit.
I think this is because this is the first time I've seen this on a television this large.
Right.
That I was like, huh. Like I did not see that before.
And the fact that they put her in the ambulance with him,
right.
it's like
Seems
probably shouldn't do that.
probably not.
I'm sure it was just like one of Kevin's friends who drives a fucking ambulance. He's like, we got to get this shot in fucking 90 seconds. So he's going to pull up, he's going to open the back, we're going to do it, and done.
I lay this dude down. Here, hold this stick, and then like is that stick's not long enough. You need a longer stick.
Yeah.
Like that'd be the best blooper ever. Like, all right, is that stick long enough? All right, let me line up the shot, and no, it's not long enough. We need a bigger stick. All right, that stick's too big. Nobody's gonna believe that. Get a shorter one. Like spend 25, 30 minutes finding
debating on the penis size of
finding a long enough stick that is going to be believable in the shot for where there's fucking on the gurney.
Yeah,
I could totally see that.
Yeah, and it came as quite a surprise when it happened. And of course, Jay and Silent Bob roll in. They've been doing bits throughout this whole movie. We didn't even talk about the hockey match.
No, I was just thinking that.
And you know, Silent Bob gives his one word wisdom again, like he does in every movie. And this was, you know, there's a million fine looking women in the world, dude, but they don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, talking about Veronica.
Right.
And that's when Dante's, now all of a sudden he realizes, I love her.
Right. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Randall's over there fucking like teeing things up for the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm helping my boy out by, you know, getting her ready for the breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope, that didn't work out well.
No. So yeah, she breaks up with him. Actually punches him or something. Somehow he ended up.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
And yeah, she even uses the line, if you thought 37 was a lot, you just wait until.
Oh, she used some biblical reference or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Fucking,
I'm 37?
it's just fucking fantastic.
Yeah. The playing hockey on the roof. That's
So, all right. Of the things that take Dave out of the movie, this was one of them.
Really?
So, a couple reasons. The most obvious one being, especially having been there, like, that roof's not big enough to play hockey on. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever been up on a roof like that?
I'm sure I have.
You wouldn't want to run around on a roof like that.
Oh yeah, no,
There's
you
no-
could easily trip and fall off the top.
There's no fucking there's fucking shit laying across there. There's cables. There's air conditioning units. There's like all this shit. There's little bumps where the because you have fire dividing walls between the buildings, and those go all the way up.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have these bumps all in between there. So it's like it's just conceptually for the movie, I get it.
Yeah.
But like you're watching them play, and I'm like, and when I first saw this, I was having this critique.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they playing on a roof? Like they have a parking lot. They
Yeah.
have the street.
Yeah.
not-
Why wouldn't they just do it there?
Yeah. Why the fuck are they on the roof?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. You can't play it. You can't play fucking street hockey on the roof.
Yeah, and they really didn't. They
Right.
played for a minute.
This like you're complaining about you have to play hockey like it's a legit thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then really what it is a bunch of fucking schmucks that are playing roller hockey.
Yeah.
It's not a legit thing. Like your entire life is a fucking sham. This is the thing that your whole life is revolving around.
This is the thing that you're judging them on, the roller hockey.
The roll, like this is like, hey, I was with you all the way up until this point.
Right.
And then you decided, like, oh, hey, this is the hockey game that everything was revolving around,
Yeah.
and this is it. Half a dozen dudes, and then a guy comes up, and you're letting him you can't rollerblades on a fucking roof. What?
Yeah.
And then you let some dude up there who's talking shit. Of course, some dude is flat foot on a fucking roof when you're on rollerblades is going to light you up. Like, have you ever played fucking roller hockey?
No.
If you're on when you're on skates and somebody isn't, like on like roller hockey,
Yeah.
like floor hockey,
That guy's
they
probably
have
gonna get
they have the advantage
Yeah.
because they have the benefit of rubber meeting pavement,
Right.
whereas you have wheels hitting pavement, so it's closer to like ice, so there's a lot less friction.
Sure.
So homeboy's gonna unfortunately, like your poor 49ers on the fucking snowfield last night.
Don't even remind me.
They're gonna be all over the goddamn place. Yeah, it's just the hockey game pissed me off.
Really?
Yeah, it just bothered me. That whole sequence fucking bothered me.
Well,
They could have had the whole fucking thing in the street.
I did like when the dude was up on the ladder talking shit. He's like, "Oh, look at you! You can't even pass. Try covering the point. You
Right.
suck."
Yeah, that part was funny. But that whole sequence just that's the Dave. That's when Dave was like, no.
Yeah. And it was interesting too that it was this kind of hockey game that he had his whole day planned around.
Yeah.
Like Veronica knew. She's like, "Aren't you playing hockey later?"
Yeah.
And I think Randall even brought it up.
Yeah. Like, this is the organized hockey that you were playing. Like this. And then he apparently played hockey in high school.
Kevin Smith?
No, Dante.
Oh.
Like, they said he played hockey in high school.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Rick Darris mentioned that.
So, like, this is not hockey. Like, this is fucking a bunch of dudes jerking off in the street, basically.
Yeah.
It's just annoying. Anyway, I don't know why it bothers me so much. It just does.
Oh, no, that's fine.
There's always something. Dave always has something.
Those were most of the things I brought up in my notes. Did you have anything else that I didn't cover?
One of the things Randall makes this movie.
Yeah.
Right? His delivery is fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dante can be the guy who's playing Dante has moments where it's like his delivery is choppy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is obviously low budget, low time actors. Like, you know what you're getting.
Sure.
But Randall seems to have, like, his delivery and his timing is all really good throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, we're getting the best version of all this, right? Because this is the final cut.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate Randall's timing in a lot of these things. But one of the parts I really found funny is, like, he's sitting on the counter in a video store, and this woman's like, "Which one of these is good?" You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Which of these movies is good?
Right. And then
He's just like got his head buried in the paper.
Right.
He's not paying attention at all.
And then she, tries to fake him out, and he's like, "I don't appreciate your ruse."
Yeah.
And then acting all hurt. So then she leaves. So I forget exactly what she says.
Yeah. He's like, "Screw you."
Screw you, yeah. And then so he gets off the counter because he's indignant.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes out the door and says, "You're not allowed to rent here anymore." And Jay's out there going, "Yeah!"
Yep.
Like, there's these. I'd love to. I believe, in my heart of hearts, I believe that they just have him standing outside, And when shit is happening, they just have him he's just ad-libbing,
Yeah.
right? Hey, when something happens or something comes outside, or, shut up, stoner. Like,
Yeah.
just,
Oh yeah. No, because when he was after the funeral or the wake, yeah, the Dante's telling Randall, just go open the fucking video store, and Jay's like, yeah, open the video store. He's like, shut the fuck up, junkie.
Right. So I have this where Jay is just out there, just like, okay, I'm just gonna pick random shit, like when they put the boombox down and have him start dancing during the one sequence. It's just like that had to have been all right. We're just gonna tape him, tape him dancing.
Just roll it.
Yep.
Then Bob jumps in.
Yep. I just those little bits of the movie, I think, are what really kind of make it.
Yeah.
The subtleties of like the Dante. I never liked Dante's performance in this.
Yeah.
I appreciate the character, and as I've gotten older and appreciate more what the movie is.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, like, and first seeing this, I'm like, God, Dante sucks, man. Like, I felt like it was one of those things where, like, man, I could have done a way better job than playing this character than Dante did.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I, have the benefit of age and looking back on it, in those scenarios, like that was the right guy at the right time. Right?
Yeah.
This movie, it stands this test of time because of these actors playing in this role, and with it being black and white.
Yeah.
Which we didn't really talk a whole lot about.
Right.
But
because he had to keep it cheap, so he got a black and white film.
Yeah, and I think it's brilliant. It's utterly brilliant that you're seeing this thing in black and white. It gives it it just gives it a perspective that is very, very unique to film.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially knowing you're recording in this small little convenience store, and it really gives you that kind of, I don't know. I think it just works better with filming inside of these stores the way it does.
So you're talking about like with fluorescent lighting and like these other challenges that you would have, outside it's dark, right? So everything's throwing shadows that you don't want it to, and trying to get some indirect lighting on stuff when you have the main characters doing whatever.
Yeah.
Lighting is a super challenge, especially when you're doing anything. And black and white presents its own challenges with lighting. But as somebody who shoots pictures, like I, learned basically in black and white.
Yeah.
Because that's what my parents' darkroom was a black and white darkroom.
Okay.
I think they did color, but what I learned how to do was in black and white.
Okay.
And you understand what makes the composition of a black and white picture like better. And there was a lot of times in this movie where I was like, if this was in color, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I saw a clip on YouTube where they colorized a scene. I think it was the last scene where Jay and Bob go into the store, and it just looks so fucking weird. I'm just like, ugh, no, this isn't right.
You almost, well, there's color versions in like Clerks 2, right?
Well, so Clerks 2, it starts off in the black and white until Dante opens the store. Remember, he opens the shutters,
That's right.
And then there's fire in there, and then all of a sudden it turns to color.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Wizard of Oz moment.
I wonder if at Clerks 3 they actually go in there.
I don't know.
I think they do. Remember they were talking about when they were filming?
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, black and white because it was cheap, doing this on the cheap, but also it gives it hey, this is an indie film that has this. We're not trying to make something this. We're not trying to make this part louder than this part. We're not using color to draw your eye to certain things.
Right.
One thing that Caitlin actually taught me, because originally she was a telecom major,
Oh, that's right.
And when she was in film classes, like she would talk about how they would use particular color arrangements to draw your eye into certain things. There was all this mechanics that go into color and to how it affects you and draws your eye.
Sure.
And we talk about it in human factors too, like how if I'm going to lay out something for the human eye, what's going to get your attention and what you're actually going to what's going to drive a mechanical instinct towards. You take all that away when it's in black and white.
Yeah.
You know, now it's just like, okay, here's where movement is. You know, it's lit here and there's movement. So I'm going to be directed at that. Jay and Silent Bob are in front of the store. It's got a single light. Everything else is dark around it, and it's just him dancing. It's just perfect. It just works.
Yep. And I think it also adds to the timelessness of the movie itself because it doesn't have all these bright colors that could, possibly date it. I mean, and yeah, it's still dated by hairstyles and other things, but otherwise, this could still be taking place in any fucking convenience store right now.
Right.
So
they just need to figure out how to make it fit on a widescreen TV.
Right.
Which they probably have. I mean, I have an old DVD, so probably on a newer DVD, maybe it can fit on screen.
Maybe.
Like
or
when
it
you
might,
watched it?
no, I think it was pretty much square also. Maybe that's just the way they filmed it.
I mean, it probably was.
Yeah.
16 millimeter film.
I don't know. We'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah, that's. Regardless, though, the way it was filmed had a desired effect,
Yeah.
and also was cheap, so it worked.
Yeah.
You know,
And it made
brilliant in its simplicity.
Yep. And it made Kevin Smith a household name.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Now he goes for walks in the Hollywood Hills every day and posts it on Instagram. And
Yeah, I had stopped following him for a while. Like he
was getting too political.
yeah, like a lot of these guys, I think when you have a platform, sometimes it gets to your head a little bit.
Yeah. Or what I still believe happens is I think they get pressure from studios or whoever, like, you should really be talking about this issue right now, on your platform.
Right.
Or it'd be a shame if you never got work again if you didn't do that.
Right. It'd be a real shame if you ended up in the hospital again.
Right. Let's talk about the legacy of this movie, because obviously it's an indie darling. It's maintained its popularity over this whole time, made Kevin Smith a household name. For us, 37. That's
37?
That's been on our soundbar since the very beginning. We've always referenced it, always talked about it. And then of course, you had so many movies that were made from the success of this, between Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2 and 3. Do you remember the animated series?
I do.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it a whole lot. But I remember the commercials.
Yeah, well, it was only 6 episodes long, and I think only 2 aired before it got canceled. So the place that you were going to see all of them was on DVD, which I have. And I actually found it to be quite humorous. Alec Baldwin does the voice of the bad guy in the show. It's, it wasn't bad at all.
It's funny.
But yeah, it definitely did not resonate with audiences. But it is out there.
It was probably I'm sure it was just the wrong audience, the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
But yeah, Kevin Smith is still making movies based off of these characters.
Yeah.
Until today. So, he did something right. And it just goes to show, if you have good dialogue, you have people who can deliver it and have chemistry with each other, and then you do a proper edit, you can make a good movie.
Yeah, you can make money in the movies.
Yeah.
People want to come and watch it.
Yeah.
It doesn't just have to be, hey, here's this name.
Right. And it doesn't have
Here's
to
a
be
stamp.
Yeah.
Disney. Wait, what? What did I say?
But yeah, no, it just goes to show how you can make some small thing like that and become successful off of it, which is why I always tell my kids, like, if you actually want to make it in Hollywood, watch this movie, because
Yeah.
that's how you're going to do it. If you
Yep.
have any desire to be writer, director, whatnot, then you got to make your own project.
What didn't you like about this movie?
That's an interesting question. I mean, I think the first time I saw it, I thought the whole thing was hilarious. As far as parts I didn't like, well, when he's rattling off all the porn names, it got a little awkward because I was watching it with my son this last time. I'm like, oh god. But I don't know. I don't know if I have any parts that I would say I just didn't like. Why? Did you have something in mind?
No, I mean I mentioned the hockey sequence.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. The shit. I was leading into something like
Not the funeral.
no the funeral. The funeral was just a weird interlude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah, and then of course it led to the scene as they were driving to the wake, about his cousins dying trying to suck his own dick.
Right. And then we have the throwback to that at the end with the coroner.
Yeah.
Now the hockey sequence really is part that bothers me, and it was the pacing. The pacing was just what I found watching it today was like I found the pacing to be a little bit slow.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I don't know how much of that is a function of my ADHD or
Could
if it's
be.
just the actual like movie. What's the runtime on this? What's the runtime on the movie?
It's not very long. It's about an hour and 30. Let's see. Of course, fucking IMDb doesn't have that. Why the fuck would they? Do I still have my Wikipedia open?
Yeah.
So
I
saying
think-
everything I'm doing.
So I honestly I think it's more of a function of my ADHD.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and movies today too. They gotta go the extra step to, entice audiences. Big flashing lights and,
yeah, but even with like I like the like in between scenes how they had the single word fucking like introduction to this
Yeah.
upcoming scene. I like that. There's a lot of aspects like hey here in this sitcom that you're basically watching an entire sitcom in this 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You're watching this play out. And I like that aspect of it. I just thought it just felt a little slow.
Yeah, I
watching
can
it
see
this
that.
time.
I could certainly see that.
But otherwise, like you said, if you're telling your kids to watch this now, not as much for the fact that like, hey, this was a movie that was made because he could make it.
Yeah.
Right? He wrote it
Yeah, he had a vision.
and he had the ability, although it took for him to make this, you can do for almost nothing
Mhm.
with your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't have to shell out $50,000 now.
no.
You just need some people
No.
who are willing to work with you, a fucking nice video phone or phone video camera.
Video phone. I like the video phone. Video phone. The big phone.
Yeah,
Coneheads. Have you seen Coneheads?
I have. Wasn't a huge fan,
It's such a good movie.
but I haven't seen it in a long time. We're talking like the 90s probably.
It's one of those movies that's so filled with one-liners that it's like it doesn't matter what the movie is.
Right.
It's about the one-liners.
Yeah, and you could just say the same thing about Clerks too, because
Yeah.
it's not really about.
True, but Clerks is more of almost like a skit show
Yeah.
because it has those individual segments, like the egg guy, the milkmaid, the
Jay and Bob dancing.
right. So you have these little skits and everything's kind of put together. Skits, bitch. Whereas like Coneheads is meant to be like here's this SNL thing that we've dragged out to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I find it hilarious. I thought Coneheads was really good.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so maybe I'm giving it too hard of a
We're
time.
going to Narful to Garthog. I mean, you got Phil Hartman in it. You got Chris Farley.
Oh, I'm sure all the SNL personalities from the time were in it.
Yeah. No, it was it.
That had to have come after Wayne's World, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because once Wayne's World hit big, that's when they started making movies out of all their dumb characters.
I don't know. Now I need to see. Well, Coneheads was even older than Wayne's World, though.
Right. Yeah, the original sketch.
1993.
Okay. So yeah, it was definitely after Wayne's World. And yeah, it was probably made in response to the success of Wayne's World.
Wow, 93.
And they did that Night at the Roxbury. They did the one about the nun chick who smells her armpits.
Oh, no, she wasn't a nun.
Whatever the fuck, she dressed like one.
No, she was in like Catholic school.
Oh, all right.
It was like what she always said, like Sister Mary. I don't know, like she did this number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood that. Dude, Mars Attacks 1996. So we got another year before we do that one.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah, it is. Gak. It's been a minute since we did that one.
Oh yeah, we haven't done an ACAC in a while.
In a long while. Billy Madison's next year.
Oh, so we're just moving on to stuff to look at next year.
Now that I have it open, I'm just looking at it.
We've moved on from Clerks.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with Clerks.
All right. So anyway, while Dave's looking at that, I do want to mention that our next episode is going to be Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
When we do that, we'll have to discuss it, whether we want to try to push it to next week or try to space it out. It'll depend on life. So we'll see. And we'll try to keep y'all updated on the socials, though I know we're terrible at that.
I think we'd be better served to try and do it next week.
All right.
I think we should try and make that happen.
Yeah.
And then we can intersperse some spacing after that.
Yeah.
Just because
we do want to be somewhat timely on that.
Yep, agreed.
Which is why we were going to do it today.
Yes, if it had, the Earth rotated the other direction.
Right.
It would have been perfect.
Well, isn't that how it happens in Superman, and then time goes backwards when the Earth reverses?
Obviously.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, spins it the other way.
Yeah.
That's how time works.
Yeah. Not that he would murder billions of people by making the Earth stop rotating.
Everyone would die, but other than that, everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Although on the equator, you'd probably be all right.
You think so?
There's a point on the globe where you'd probably be fine. Or maybe the poles. If you're on the poles, you'd be fine because your spin rate's not as fast.
True. Something to ponder. All right. Do we have any headlines?
I am going to read some ATSW family happenings.
Okay.
I'm going to do it in a normal, almost clerical voice.
All right.
Let's see. ATSW family happenings on Wednesday. Are you ready?
Oh, God.
Are you ready, Jason?
I thought I was, but now I'm not so sure.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's good.
Kind of hard not to.
That's good, Jason. On Wednesday, catch Don, Brady, and DB over at the ATSW Escape Pod. They'll be chatting about episodes 1 and 2 of Skeleton Crew.
I feel so awkward right now.
Eventually, 1905, 7:05 Eastern on YouTube. On Thursday, Alan and DB are reviewing the holiday classic, Krampus. If you're a horror hound, join the live chat of Grave Reviews Thursday, 2000, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. On Thursday, I already read that. Over at Sweet Studios, metal band Till the End is about to release their third single, coming up on 12/15. Give them a follow on the socials for updates. Why does Brady think it's gross? I don't even, I'm just whispering.
Imagine being seated right here.
There's no releases from the past week for Used and Abused, Layman's Terms, or the Orange and Fed Show. You can find us at bio.link/ audio podcasts on Apple, Audible, and Spotify. And all social media platforms, including X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Once you get to the bio link, simply click the symbols under our pic to get to your platform of choice. You can also find all of our past Spotify mixtape playlists. Also on our bio link is our Deep Public merch shop. Choose from 7 designs on everything from t-shirts to hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers and pins, wall art, magnets, notebooks, laptop cases, pillows.
You almost sound like Batman's trying to whisper. I did. You did it. And the pillows.
The pillows. Just about anything you can imagine. Nothing says loving like a naked Jason chick on a pillow.
I gotta take these off. I can't. I gotta let him finish.
Go to BioLink/Sidebar Cantina
I can still hear him.
and click merch. Reviews.
No new reviews. And you know what? I was reminded when I was looking at the reviews that someone gave us a 1-star review. Didn't leave any dialogue, just clicked the 1 star. So some fucker listened to us and took the time to go into Apple, click the fucking 1 star, and then
And not say anything.
yeah. This was from a few years ago, I think. But still, I'm fucking pissed off
That
about
was
that.
a while ago.
Yeah. Fuck this guy. I hope you're out there, and I hope you're suffering.
I hope you get a nail in your tire, and not in the tread where they can put one of those
Yeah, little patches.
little patch on it, and it'll cost you like $15.
Yeah.
I hope it's like in the sidewall
Ooh, there
where it's
you
like,
go.
okay, now you need a new tire.
Yeah, patch this motherfucker.
And you probably have an SUV, and that tire's going to cost you $135, and it's right around Christmas time. So $135 means that your fucking kid isn't going to get the latest thing,
That's right.
and now your kid's going to be fucking miserable, which is in turn going to make you miserable while you have to fucking deal with this flat tire. And because your kid's miserable, and you're going to be miserable, now your old lady's going to be miserable too.
Mhm.
Now she's going to leave your ass.
Yep, she's gonna
Which-
divorce you.
Actually, no. Scratch that. She's just going to be miserable. She's not going to leave you, because leaving you would probably make you happier. So now she's just going to dial it to 11.
Right.
And she's going to just make sure she's just makes your life a living fucking hell. All because you left us 1 star.
Yeah. I hope it was worth it. Anyway, are you done? Oh yeah, no new reviews.
I don't know if I can go back to the sexy voice. It was meant to just be a whisper, but I don't know how it turned into sexy.
It's how things go on the show.
I have to listen to it, and I'll fix it in post. Please write us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible. Don't have an Apple or Audible account. Our Facebook page has review feature 2
C.
3BO. Just screenshot your review before you get done and DM us a pic on Instagram or Twitter with your name and address, so Luna Girl can send you a super cool ATSW family swag pack. It's your chance to tell us your thoughts on the show. Jason or Henry Lopez or Hank or Edith or Mama or Drunk Tom Brokaw or somebody fun will read your review word for word on our next episode. Let us know who you want to read it.
This load letter.
The fuck does that mean?
I swear to God, one of these days, I just kick this piece of shit out the window.
It's a different board, folks.
Yeah.
I'm 37?
If you're listening to us on audio, please consider joining us in the live chat on Mondays. The chat is most definitely where it's at. If you're new to Sidebar, please subscribe, ding that bell, select all to receive notifications of when we go live. Remember to smash that like button. It really helps us out. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. You are the reason why we do this. And that, my friends, is that.
All right. Well, like I said, next episode we're doing Skeleton Crew, probably going to be next Monday. So when are they going to release, like regularly?
I have no idea.
Well, let's find out. What days will Skeleton Crew go live? December 2nd is the 2 episodes. Then December 10th. What day is the 10th?
Isn't that a
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't like doing the show when they're like just about to debut the new episode. But what are you gonna do?
It could be. We could be doing a like, hey, here's your refresher,
Mm-hmm.
and then the episode is going to come on.
There you go. We can use it as a recap.
There you go.
All right, I like it.
I don't know how. Like, I know you don't update your phones.
I actually do. My latest phone, I have been updating.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah,
because like it's funny because I got the new phone
Oh,
and with like the AI stuff.
which is what exactly?
It's just another logarithm.
Yeah, they sell it as with Apple AI. I'm like, what is it really? Are you just doing fucking internet searches to answer questions?
Listen, I could spend an entire episode talking about how the branding of AI is not why AI branding is not actual artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah, just from my grad school education and human factors, this AI is very useful,
Mm-hmm.
but is not true artificial intelligence. Like, it should be called something else, but it's a marketing coup. And I will say, even though I think it is being mislabeled, it is actually, because it's being commercially marketed the way it is, it's advancing things that are going to make it useful later
Sure.
that we otherwise wouldn't have gotten to.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
it's one time when, commerce is actually helping drag the kind of the industry along,
Mhm.
so that somebody like me who's trying to improve like safety, aircraft safety, and how I'm going to use AI to make airplanes fly safer.
Mhm.
I need the industry to get pulled along like this, because otherwise you can't. This money isn't just going to like appear
Right.
for this. There has to be a reason for it. So with this already starting to happen, then we have reason for it.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, if we ever want to have a nice long discussion about AI, I'm here for it.
All right. Yeah, we can do that at some point. But anyway, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the show now. Thanks everybody for, first of all, for your patience. I know we had a pretty big gap there in episodes, but
Yep.
it's life. But we'll get back into a regular rhythm, and we'll do Skeleton Crew next week. So
Yes, sir.
until then, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you. And I'm 37.
37.
I'm
My
37.
girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a
In a
row?
row? Okay, now what do I click? That. I click that.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm turning off the stream. We got shit we got to get done. So, see you soon.
Bye, guys.